Friends, the workout for week 3 of the 2018 CrossFit Games Open has been released, and it is a doozy. What we've got is 100 double unders, 20 overhead squats, 100 double unders, 12 ring muscle ups, 100 double unders, 20 dumbbell snatch, 100 double unders, 12 bar muscle ups, 2 rounds with the 14-minute cap. All of the double unders, 800 of them if you do the RX version. This is definitely going to be a workout that involves a lot of shoulders, pacing yourself, and my biggest takeaway for this thing, don't waste reps. Now let's start talking about the jump rope. There's a lot of people out there that can do sets of 100 in a row, and that's awesome. In today's workout, you're expected to do 800 of them. Just because the gentleman in the release video did 8 sets of 100 unbroken doesn't mean most people are going to be able to do the same thing. So my advice early on is break up the double unders before you think you need to on your terms, take a short rest and continue. Think about it, every time you mess up, have to reset, step through the rope and get ready to go, that can easily be 5 seconds. If you start fumbling around to get through 100 and you mess up 6 or 7 times, what you might be doing is adding minutes to your overall workout that you're just sitting there with the rope in your hands. If you stop at 20, take a quick step through and continue, it's on your terms, you're taking that breath, keeping your heart rate down, and conserving your shoulders a little bit. Just because you can go unbroken for 100 at a time, if your shoulders fatigue, you need to then hold a barbell overhead. You need to then move a dumbbell from the ground to overhead and then pull your body weight up above rings and up above a bar. Just because you got through 100 double unders fast throughout most of the workout doesn't mean everything else isn't going to be negatively affected. Keep that in mind. Now for the ropes, one of the few times I'm going to say with this much volume, you should have another rope close by just in case. If you're 7 minutes in, a few hundred double unders in, and that little screw goes flying off, you're gonna be SOL. We don't wanna be left without a rope, without a backup plan. So it doesn't mean you need to use it, but have one close by just in case. Now for the judges, it can be really hard to count to 100, especially quickly. My advice here is use your hands. I like to count 1 through 10 and then say the next number that comes up. Example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. That way you can have a visual reminder of where you are throughout your athlete's entire 100 reps. Also, it's hard to go 31, 32, 33. If you're just saying 4, 5, 6, 7, I think this is the best way to go there, and your athlete will know exactly where they are. I'm typically someone that likes to go right into double unders off of the ground. If I get tired, I'm gonna make that switch, meaning if I pick up my rope and when I'm fresh, I can go right into double unders. But you don't mess up. When I'm tired, if that happens right off the get-go, then this is gonna start to happen and we're gonna panic and freak out. My advice, if you need a single under or two to find your rhythm and relax, that's gonna be the way to go. You're doing so many double unders in this workout. So do a single or 2, get ready, and then start going so you can find that rhythm instead of feeling panicked or rushed to go right into your first double under. Another thing to think about is the tie break time. Every time you finish 100 double unders, you're gonna write your tie break time down on the scorecard. I only think you need to panic close to your final set of 100 double unders you plan to complete. If you keep jumping and hang on to that rope and keep struggling through the fatigue, at minute 6, I think you're gonna make yourself more tired than is beneficial in the long run. If you're someone who plans to struggle through the overhead squats, then I think you need to sprint your first set of double unders. If you're someone who doesn't have ring muscle ups yet, I think you need to sprint through your first 100 double unders, your first 20 overhead squats, and your second 100 double unders. I think those need to be sprint rounds. Then spend the rest of the time under the rings trying to get your first muscle up. But the tie break time of getting through that set of your final double unders before moving on is gonna separate people by the thousands. Same thing, maybe you have ring but not bar. Then finish as fast as you can. Your doubles, barbell, doubles, rings, doubles, dumbbells, doubles, then rest. Think about that. Get through as fast as you can if one of these movements is something you don't quite have yet. I've already had a bunch of people send me messages tonight saying, well, it looks like I'm going to scale this thing. Remember, every person that's scaled is below every person that goes RX. So in my mind, if your goal is to score well in this workout, even if you get one single double under rep, you're going to be scored above every other person in the world that decides to scale this thing. That's a judgment call. If your goal is leaderboard ranking, I say spend 14 minutes struggling. Spend 14 minutes struggling with the barbell, struggling to try and get your first ring muscle up, because your scores will be that much higher than everyone who scaled. Then what I'd recommend is, if you just want a good workout, go through the whole thing scaled and see how far you can get. For the overhead squats, I think it's really important to not miss any reps. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Just because your knees lock out doesn't mean you're standing all the way up. So be aware you're not doing that. Now, while the most efficient way to get the bar overhead will be to squat snatch, if that instability is going to throw you off, I suggest just power snatching and going. If you have the strength and stability to hold that bar overhead, I would rather you go a little bit slower but hang on to the bar than have to drop it and go. I also can't see a reason why you can't lower the bar to your back, then push press and continue instead of having to drop it to the ground. So if you can snatch it, great, into a full squat. Otherwise, get your chest up, get that barbell overhead, lock your feet, eyes straight ahead and reach to the sky. Big breath in, boom, and find a rhythm where all you need to think about is pressing that barbell up to the sky. Resting here, going back up. Resetting could also save some time and energy, and I don't see why that wouldn't be okay. All right, so the theme of the day is consistent again with these things in particular. No wasted reps. For me, I'm someone that when my ring muscle ups go, they are gone. Instead of feeling fresh and busting out 7, 8, or 9 in a row and then failing singles, I think most people should do much smaller sets than they want to, hop down, shake it out, and get right back up, whether that's 4 sets of 3 or 3 sets of 4. Also, don't get on top of the rings and get no rep because you tried to come down too fast. Control that lockout, make sure you're good, then move on. So from here, get yourself over those rings, catch, lock out, then control into the next rep first, drop down, shake it out and rest, and then get back up there again when you think you're ready. Don't burn out the first round of this workout. There's a lot more work to go. If it's your first time trying to get a muscle up, or you can only get 1 in a row, try your best to make the reps count. If you're tired and rushing back up there and missing and the rings are swinging all over the place, it's not worth your time and you're going to panic. Take your time, breathe and relax, and try not to waste any effort. After workout 18.0, a lot of us worried if we'd see the dumbbell snatch and the burpee standard in this year's Open. We get them both. Now, just like the dumbbell clean and jerk we saw a few weeks ago, I'm going to encourage most of us to set the dumbbell slightly behind our feet and use our glutes and hammies and low back for momentum for these snatches. Do not waste reps. Control your lockouts, bring them all the way back down to the ground. Now, we need to make sure the handoff happens below the top of your head, which is a little bit higher than some of us thought. What I'd recommend, control, bring it down, both heads of the dumbbell touch the ground, and go into the next rep. If you can do 20 in a row, keeping your heart rate down and your shoulders fresher, do that please. If you need to break it up, that's fine. If the coordination of making the switch in midair is too much for you, set the dumbbell on the ground in between reps. Just don't waste any. So from here, chest up nice and tall, use that momentum. Control the lockout up, bring it down, both heads touch the ground, and continue. If you need to, go all the way to the floor. Boom, and then go. Boom. Find that rhythm, try not to waste a single rep. These are going to be a lot easier for me than the overhead squats. I hope they are for you too. Remember, power from the hips, not from your arms. Whether we're talking ring or bar muscle ups, it's important to note for everyone that your heels must stay below the rings or the bar. So for all you crazy gymnasts out there, glide kipping is not allowed. For those of us that can link some of these together, what I'm going to advise is the same thing I did on the rings. Hop down before you think you need to. The reason is, up here, some of us would typically rest on the bar and shake out our grip. Only your hands from your entire arm can touch the bar. So instead of resting up there, I'd suggest hopping down, shaking it out completely, and then going back up when you're more fresh before you decide to fail a rep because you're so tired. From here, get up and over the bar. Lock it out, come back down, link them together if you can. As soon as you're tired, I wouldn't rest here. Hands on the bar, this is technically legal, but I'd be exhausted. Just hop down, shake it out. If you're going for your first bar muscle up, or maybe you can only get one at a time, same thing as the rings. Do one, attempt one, and then rest and recover. Don't keep trying if you know you're fatigued. It doesn't make sense to waste more energy and failing, wasting time, and still not getting reps. If you're trying to get here and you think this is where you'll end, sprint through your last set of double unders to get that tie break as fast as you can, and then just relax here, practicing with your friends and coaches around, trying to coach you to your first rep. You can do this. Now, I know this has been a long video, so if you're still with me, I appreciate you and thank you. There's just a lot to talk about. In my opinion, there's two ways to approach this workout. Group one are going to get stuck at one particular movement here. My advice there is to get there as fast as you possibly can to get the fastest tie break time. If you care about your ranking in the open, I think you should officially go RX for as long as you can. Go, 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 hit that last double under cutoff, and then spend the rest of the time practicing that skill or working on that overhead squat or dumbbell snatch. For those of us that can physically do all of the things, but maybe not as fast as the 4 people who demonstrated it tonight, which is almost all of us, my advice is find a pacing strategy that works best for you. Double unders, I wouldn't go unbroken unless you know you can do 100 at a time when you're tired and conserve energy in your shoulders while keeping your heart rate down. If you know that's not you, break it down more than you think. On the overhead squats, if you can control it, do that. Control it, slow, steady reps. Only drop the bar or lower to your back if you have to. On the snatches, rest if necessary. Then, for the ring and bar muscle ups, drop down before you need to so we don't waste a single rep. The expectation for 99% of the world is not to get through this entire workout. So, pace it the way you need to. Don't miss reps. Control the quality of your movement and feel like when that 14-minute mark hits, you did it your way. Good luck. Have fun. I believe in you.